Oh man, do I have another feel good story for you guys today. It's not every day we get two amazing stories, but this one is further celebrating the demise of David Hogg and March for Our Lives because the Trace, a gun controlling organization, just threw them directly under the bus. Guys, they're exposing all the dirty laundry. Davey has officially outlived his political expediency. This is going to make you smile. It's like an 8-year long built up, pent up aggression that now is going to come out viscerally. Everything will be linked in the description box below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. We are grinding our way towards 600,000, and every time we get closer, the gun controllers lament, and you can be part of that pain. All right, let's get into this, people. We're going to jump over my X profile at Braden LOA, where I am just going to jump straight into this. This is from The Trace. The Trace. As in, EveryTown for gun safety, Michael Bloomberg funded The Trace. This is not a right-wing outlet. This is not the Second Press. This is not my gig. This is The Trace. Okay? So they say they rallied the nation after the Parkland school shooting. Years later, their group is floundering. Why is it floundering? Funny you asked. I'm going to zoom in. March for Our Lives has been rocked by divisions, layoffs, and most recently, a lawsuit alleging racism and retaliation. Well, it turns out the sword you wield comes right back on you, doesn't it? Man, that is unfortunate. You play with the pigs, you're going to get dirty. Let me show you some of the things that they're just openly they're just destroying them. Okay, this is again gun control on gun control violence. Check this out. A newly formed organization, March for Our Lives, held rallies of such size and intensity that they drew comparisons to the youth-led demonstrations of the Vietnam era. Hollywood stars championed the surging campaign, and news outlets heralded the group as a political force forged from a horrific event and eager for rapid change. Today, March for Our Lives is in disarray. Shank, shank, shank. Funding shortfalls and a rift between its board and younger staffers with varied and robust social justice commitments have strained the organization. Weird. And a recently filed federal lawsuit accuses the board of racism and retaliation. Oh my God. Mwah! On March 20th of this year, just before the 7-year anniversary of its celebrated rallies, March for Our Lives terminated 13 of its 16 full-time employees. Yep, we told you when that happened. We threw a little celebratory party video. However, now they're getting sued by those same 13 out of 16 people because of racial discrimination and social inequities. Oh my God. Man. All right. I'm just going to keep relishing in this. Let's just relish together. And let me hear you in the comments. Don't hold back the relish. Quote, "We ultimately took on more than our resources could sustain us over the long term," Corin, who is among the last of the Parkland survivors actively involved in the group, told The 19th, a non-profit news outlet focused on gender and politics. Well, at least they're staying on brand. Good Lord. These people lean so far into the social justice warrior bullshit, and now they can't even get out to a normal outlet. They got to go to a gender and politics focused brand. Good Lord. Let's just keep going. This is a perfect pre-dinner snack. Leadership and staff struggled with conflicting views on mission, race, and racism, and fundraising. Similar strife has convulsed other liberal advocacy groups, and several issues that challenge March for Our Lives also confront the broader gun violence prevention movement. Yeah, because they're courting all the wokies. The one, you don't ever like hold a snake in your hand because it comes back and bites you right in the face. That's what's happening. They're hiring all the social justice warriors. They're letting them get it all in there. They're unionizing, and then they're biting them back. It's exactly what's happening. I'm gonna show you the whole thing. Wait until I show you who's funding the whole thing, by the way, as well, because it's gonna shock you. I almost where you are right now. Just be sitting down. You're never gonna believe it. The lawsuit, filed on July 18th in New York, alleges that the 13 terminated staffers are victims of retaliation for having voiced opposition to racial discrimination on part of the board of directors, a charge the group denies in a court filing. So the 13 people say they were fired because they voiced opposition to racial discrimination. Davey, you done goofed. Now they're destroying your March for Our Lives brand. You will not be pertinent much longer. Let's keep on going. The mass firing, in which he was let go, the guy who's launching the lawsuit, was also personally devastating, Ford said. As a gay kid growing up in rural Kentucky, he had experience with violence and said he and the staff felt a commitment to the group and its goals. To be willing to dispose of everybody who worked at the organization simply because they became inconvenient, it was almost unbearable to process, Ford said. For them to act in such a way rather than work through a difficult moment, it's just so far removed from the principles that March for Our Lives claim to value. They fired 13 of their 16 staffers because they had no money. Has nothing to do with anything he just said, but my feels. As a gay kid growing up in Kentucky, I know violence. What? As a straight dude who grew up in Atlanta, I know violence. Like, what? Anyway, let's not get distracted by the sidecars. We got to focus here. I'm going to show you where the money's coming from. Again, be sitting down. It's the Easter egg at the end. In its first year, March for Our Lives reported $18.7 million in revenue to the Internal Revenue Service, an annual total it has never again come close to matching. The group was in the red by 2020. Wow. And it has spent more than it collected every year since. In 2023, the last for which figures are available, revenue hit $3.6 million while expenses were $3.8 million. Davey, they're coming for you and your legacy, and this group is going to be gone soon. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Get ready for the money. Despite the money trouble, March for Our Lives could take some credit for the movement's victories. This is the greatest paragraph to be back to back. Like President Joe Biden's creation of the White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention and Congress's passage of the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first significant federal gun control legislation in a decade. Thanks, John Cornyn. Critically, the group had also served as a vehicle for many young people's anger and frustration over the country's perceived indifference to gun violence. Next paragraph. However, March for Our Lives was unable to recapture the momentum of 2018, and the re-election of President Donald Trump came as a blow. In his second term, Trump closed the Office of Gun Violence Prevention, stripped funding from community violence intervention groups, and done away with many of the federal firearm restrictions. Get rocked. Hey, here's all your achievements. Good Lord. Again, this is the trace. This is not the second press. This is not Langley Outdoors on YouTube. This is the trace. Funded and founded by EveryTown for Gun Safety, a gun control organization. They are ripping them apart. Oh, good Lord. Listen to this. If you had any questions about how twisted and maniacal this is, listen to this paragraph. Some participants, in a little report that they did, said the group's message had become diluted, in part because it weighed in on issues like climate change, abortion, and the humanitarian crisis in Gaza because they tried to get money from other special interest groups. This detracted from gun violence efforts and hampered fundraising, they said. A few people said March for Our Lives needed to acknowledge that donors respond more to white kids affected by school shootings than to gun violence in marginalized communities. We don't utilize the Parkland narrative enough. Hey, you there? Yeah. Who's there? We don't utilize the Parkland narrative enough. Holy crap. You know those guys on the internet are always saying they utilize the victimhood of the Parkland tragedy? We don't utilize the narrative enough. Holy balls. All right. Parkland still brings out a visceral reaction in people. We walked away from the Parkland narrative because people felt we needed to focus on black and brown communities, but I would not walk away, especially in fundraising rooms. Yeah, these are swell people, aren't they? So they didn't utilize the Parkland narrative enough because they wanted to go woke and focus on marginalized black and brown communities. And the complaint is they left the Parkland narrative because it was particularly effective in fundraising rooms. Behold our opponents. This is why you're winning, because they're shitbags. Anyway, let's keep on going. Oh, here comes the money. Oh, the money. The report identifies drawing young people to the group's cause as another challenge. We need to think about how to pull Gen Alpha and younger Gen Zers in. Wait a minute, I thought that all the young people in the United States were all for this. Oh, they're not. They're on our side. Oh, okay. There is a whole generation that does not feel connected to this movement. Another concern was maintaining authenticity as a youth crusade as a youth crusade when so much direct support came from an older demographic, particularly white women. At one point, listen to this, this is the Easter egg at the end. At one point, where did I go? Sorry. 80% of our following was middle aged white women. We focused our message on them and it was effective, a comment reads. That's when we were raising money. 80% of their money raised was from liberal white women. Do you think it's a coincidence? That's the only demographic the Dems have left? Hello? Some people interviewed by the consultant worried that the group's often angry tone and what they saw as a simplistic guns are bad message, although founding elements of the organization's identity had turned people away. No, stop it. I think March for Our Lives is overall doing active harm in the political sphere, reads a comment. I think we're turning off voters. I think we're turning off adults and kids, another states. I believe March for Our Lives in recent years has actively detracted from the broader movement by putting out messaging that conveys naivete, entitlement, and condescension. Entitlement and condescension from Davy Hogg and his ilk? No. No, they're clearly off base. No, they're not. They're directly over the target. Guys, that is from the Trace. They are eating him alive. If you think that that is not against Davy Hogg and his organization, kill two birds with one stone, I don't know how to help you. That's exactly what this is. And these guys are on their way out. And I hope you relished that delicious, delicious pre-dinner snack. I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.